Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to introduce our next guest. So he makes entrepreneurial startups. He takes them to the next level. He's here to shine some light on us about developing a successful idea, strategy, and a team.
Wait, you forgot one of the best things about the guy.
And he made one of my favorite chips, the baked Blaze.
He invented that. Dr. Jeffrey Stamp is with us. He was actually speaking at NDSU last night. He'll be at Dakota Medical today. Welcome back to our community since you're from
You know,
here.
I had to wear the shirt. Students give you the T-shirts. You gotta wear the T-shirts. So thanks for having me.
What were you doing last night? What were we talking about?
Well, we do a program at NDSU every year for the students. It's called the Innovation Challenge. And it's great because it's not a class. The students have to do this outside of class. And it's an idea competition. So you don't actually have to start a business. You just have to come up with a great idea that can actually have an impact. And so they look for innovation, impact, and do you really have the desire to maybe someday take it to the next level? And it's great because you see all the great North Dakota to come to college. And it's always someone who comes from a warm climate who goes, I don't like this cold weather, and they tell us to wear all these layers. So what I want to do is not do the layers. I don't understand layers. So now they want to make fabrics that can think for you, so make a smart fabric that can adapt and heat up because as you move, it warms itself.
Cool.
Now I had to remind them, unfortunately, that watch the U.S. Olympic team in a couple of weeks here because Ralph Lauren has made a jacket that is self-heating. So you start to see that students are looking at problems because all great innovations start with a problem.
What was the problem with the potato chip that you said, hey, this has to change?
Well, you know, I get that question a lot. And here's the basic bottom line. If you eat a snack product that's fried, you know, there's a lot of fat. So you can't eat too much of that. So our question was, can we make a product that tastes like a potato chip, is as crispy as a potato chip, but made in a healthier manufacturing process? And actually, people argue with me. It can't be done. Frying makes things crispy. If you take the fryer away, it can't be crispy. And so as a scientist, I went, yeah, well, we'll figure that out. It took a while, but you had to change the behavior because another part about any great innovation is not only is it new and different than what you're used to, but it has to change your behavior. You have to switch because everything that's new, you just can't keep adding all these new things. I mean, here's a great example. In your coffee lounge here at the station, do you have a Keurig yet?
No.
You still have the old-fashioned coffee service with the big urn and the packets and who's going to make the coffee today, right? The Keurig was so great because it's simple. You put little single-serve coffee in a machine, but it changes your behavior because you're like, I'll switch to that. I don't know if she's going to make good coffee or who's the person in charge of the coffee? Well, now you're just one person, one cup at a time. So it doesn't have to be highly technical. It just has to be highly useful to somebody new.
What do you think is the big trend that's coming? I think I can't remember if it was the Google CEO, but someone from Silicon Valley, big CEO, said, hey, AI is going to be bigger than electricity.
Yeah. Well, as a mathematician, I can't tell you how excited I am that finally AI, and I think people misunderstand it. It's literally about having something that watches something else for you. And to be honest, you know, the first robot you're all going to own is your home. Your home is going to start to get smarter. It's going to start to think for you. One of the hottest areas, and I think this is great for North Dakota because of our manufacturing base here, is sensor technology. You think about all the different things. It started with the garage door sensor, right? It could actually tell whether the garage door is coming down. If your foot was in there, don't shut you down and cut off your foot, right? Well, now we can make sensors that can detect who's in a room. What temperature do you like it? What temperature do you like it? Do you want the shades up? Do you want the shades down? As a matter of fact, we can put sensors on a window now. It will tell you when you wake up, it's going to be a perfect frost morning. Make sure you look at what's going on. So I think what's hot right now is just sensors and technology that helps us process our world better.
How close are we to having that in our homes then?
Very close.
Everyone.
Very, very close, yeah. Now, I don't think I want my oven making decisions for me or my refrigerator, but there are, when I was at the the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the center point of most homes is the refrigerator. They now are making refrigerators that have computer screens on them where you can draw pictures on it like you can on an iPad, and you can leave notes for your kids, and you can just use that as sort of the central communication spot. So there's all kinds of new ideas, and again, it's just, does it change our behavior? Will we use these new things?
So it sounds great, but there's always drawbacks, I think, sometimes to tech. And I talked to a guy the other day where he says now they're using AI when it comes to hiring people, where they're using AI to determine, okay, these are your best candidates, and really not eliminating the interview process, but drastically reducing it. So what are the drawbacks of some of these
I think
ideas?
one of the big challenges we have is sometimes the world gets dehumanized. We tend to think that we can think what other people are thinking, when really the best way to know what someone's thinking is to simply ask them. Now, a lot of those programs that they're using to evaluate what people are saying is they're using a technology that just reads the words and go, are you thinking forward or are you thinking backwards? Are you happy or are you not happy? Are you positive or are you not positive? And a lot of times an employer goes, I want, positive, outgoing people. If you don't communicate that, I mean, it goes back to the same thing. People want to get help determining what's going on. So the drawbacks are if we dehumanize our experience with each other, I think that's going to be difficult because I think we still need to connect.
Because how do you determine someone's grit? There's that great book the woman put out called Grit. It's like, I don't think a computer can determine my perseverance, or you know what I mean?
Well, I think it goes, remember the great book about getting a job called What Color is Your Parachute? And people go around, I'm a blue parachute, I'm a red parachute. I mean, we've been classifying people for about as long as people have been able to be classified. And I think the danger is it's contextual. If you want to be an outgoing person, there's the time to be outgoing. When you're in a meeting, maybe it's not the best time to be outgoing when we're trying to get everyone on the same page. So I think there's a lot of positives to change, but like everything else, if the change and the new behavior doesn't give us better outcomes, then we're just changing for change's sake.
So I'm assuming companies can hire you for consulting, or how do people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm a concept designer, and people just go on the web at boldthinking.com, and we get asked a lot of great questions. I get a kick out of the governor's State of the State address he had just a couple of days ago. He said, we need to innovate, we need to educate, we need to get people to lead. Well, that's what innovators do, is you have to stand up and say, I see something different. And companies do that all the time, is what's new? What should we do next? So that's what we're trying to get the students at NDSU to work on.
Yeah, and you really help kind of facilitate that and put it into these new ideas and then make something great like Baked Lays.
Well, sometimes I think they just want validation. Like, will you tell me my idea is good? And of course I go, well, no, let's work on that, right? I mean, you have to have some reality, right?
Thank you for being here, man.
Well, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
A long time. So again, Jeffrey Stamp, your website again?
Boldthinking.com.
Boldthinking.com. All right, stay with us. Missy O is going to join us. Talk about some great stuff right after this.